Oh, here it is. It's about 3:45, and I don't know how many of you saw the one. I finally give you a little show of what our flea market is like. Some quick shot of Tom because Tom gets all nervous, so I couldn't have any shot with him in it, and so I only showed a little bit of what he had, and then I went over to the next row, and then I saw Dave, and then you'll see the stuff he has. But let's get to the contest now. The contest was so good that I had to keep changing and adding and changing and adding to my favorites. And I'll tell you what, that uh, everybody, it was hard to choose because everybody had just great ones. And there are three that are my top three picks. And everybody can guess, uh, well, I don't know if anybody will get the top three picks. No one, the one I think is, I don't think showed up at all, and nobody else got more uh, than one of my top three. And there were two. Oh, I can't even go into it, or you'll go back and try to figure out who got what. But you all get another 10 guesses. Everybody that had previously entered, if you hadn't entered by now, well, that's tough luck. Uh, and everybody that previously entered gets another 10 guesses. And if somebody gets two of them, then and that's all, and nobody else gets two of them, then they win. If somebody gets all three of them, then um, then I'll worry about that if more than one person gets all three of them. But I don't think so, because no one's gotten so far. And the others, I won't say how many got them, but it was pretty lean pickings, uh, uh, because they aren't your average kid movies, I guess. But everybody had just beautiful ones because every time I read a new one, I said, how could I not conclude that in the list? So because of that, I'm afraid we're going to have a runoff. So anybody that was in this previous one can get in the next one. Just put down 10 names, and whoever's closest to getting three of them, and then if there's a tie, then we'll have a runoff between them. But let me show what happened at the flea market today. I didn't intend to get silver, but as you can see, I got some. Let's see if I can get this top off without much trouble. I also got a row of different dates, but all uncirculated quarters. So let's put our loop on and take a look at some of these babies. Now the dimes are pretty much, I guess, 70 or 80% uh, Roosevelts, and then there's a few Mercs in there, but it doesn't matter. A dime's a dime, and I like dimes. But look at these quarters. Boy, they're in just great shape. They are in just great shape, although there was only one of them in there because they're such recent dates. It was really worth more than a quarter. I just threw him back with the rest of the fish. Uh, but it is nice, even though they're only junk. It's nice to have uh, good-looking junk for a change. And the dimes are just your average run-of-the-mill dimes. So I got a couple of hundred dimes, and I got 40 quarters. But luckily for me, I had I was able to resist buying that kilo silver piece that I showed you in the one from the flea market. And as I was sitting here getting ready to make this, Tom called and he took another $25 off. But that still would have meant that I would have had to have paid. Uh, I would have had to pay 100 and let's see, 126, $125 over spot, which would have been about $4.50 over spot uh, per ounce. And that just seemed, I mean, it was a beautiful piece of silver, but if something happens, where the hell are you ever going to sell that? I mean, that's almost industrial size when you're talking about 2.2 pounds. It looked nice and sure had a beautiful shine on it, but that was that was it. Uh, so I didn't get it. I was so tempted, and then I told Tom when he called me, I said if you hadn't been so greedy in the first place, if you'd have taken it down that extra $25, we were haggling. Uh, he wanted 12.75, and I wanted to pay him 12.25. So if he'd have come down probably to 12.50 at the time, I may very well have been filming that thing here. But the more I think about it, the less likely I really wanted to own it. But it was just something to hold. I mean, something to hold and behold. Uh, it was very nice. And I think about this 10 ouncer. That's nice and thick. But you should have seen this one. Uh, 1,000 grams is a little over 32 ounces. So it was over 3 times the weight, the size and weight of that one there. And it was so well. I'll just go to the video and see you'll like it. Now, but everybody in the contest, please, you got a couple of days to do that. Think about it. There's one that no one got and surprised me because it's really well known. And then there's two that very few got that are my absolute favorites. So you get 10 guesses to see if you can narrow down those three. Now, what you can do, what you know for sure is that there's very few answers for the two, and that there are no answers for the other one. So you can throw almost the entire list you had before out because it's like 10 free guesses, new free guesses. Uh, because and you can throw for the last one, you can throw everybody's out. So uh, that makes it that makes it more homework. All right. So thanks for your time, and sorry about that. Sorry I couldn't name a winner, but you all had just done a terrific job on this.